In this video, I'll go ahead and share with you guys how a new online service allows you to check to see if the woman you're seeing in the Philippines is actually married, foreigner near miss crash onto oncoming traffic, fake pipes were used to disguise ghost flood projects in the Philippines. This was caught on CCTV, and stick around until the end of the video where I share a story of how officials could not stop a senior from sending millions to online scammers. First, a quick look at our peso to USD exchange rate. Right now, $1 equal to 57 pesos. Here's our main story. The Philippines Statistics Authority now allows Filipinos to view birth, marriage, death certificates, also Sinomar and Sinodeath online through its serverless website. Online copies are viewable for 60 days using an access code. The fees are $130 for birth, marriage, and death, and $185 for Sinomar and Sinodeath. Payable at any PSA civil registry system outlet. Customers receive a web access information slip with the site link and code. Via the doc print service for 80 pesos, you can copy it and print it provided the online access code is shown, and only the document owner or next of kin for deceased persons may pay and claim. No authorized representatives allowed. Part of the PSA Civil Registry System IT project phase 2 to make services faster and more accessible. Okay, so not really for foreigners, it looks like, unless you're married to the person, at which point I guess the Sinomar is not really, maybe you need it still, but definitely the Sinodeath. Yeah, and you can't even pay online, so I guess a little bit quicker and faster, but I think would have been a lot more beneficial if anyone could access it, right? But then again, that could lead to privacy concerns because any random person can just check on someone's marital status, right? Let me know what you think of this. Based on what we read so far, there's probably a lot more to it, but it doesn't look like it's very straightforward. I would have liked to see simply if you basically prove you're the person, pay the price, and see what your Sinomar status or whatever you're looking for, death certificate and all that stuff. But I'd love to know your thoughts if you ever used some service like this. Let's go to Thailand quickly. A foreign motorist narrowly escaped serious injury after riding against traffic and crashing into steps of an Indian motorcycle in Phuket showroom. CCTV footage shows the rider swerving to avoid another motorbike hitting a safety pole and slamming into the concrete steps. Despite the dramatic impact, he sustained only minor injuries thanks to wearing a helmet. The clip has since gone viral, reigniting discussions on road safety and rental regulations for tourists in Phuket. Not only Phuket, everywhere, right? Here's the thing. I really want to see authorities crack down on shops that allow tourists, foreigners, travelers, whatever, to rent these bikes without having proper international license or whatever else there is, right? So I think it's not fair to just go only after the individual because in their mind, they might not think it's a big deal if it's the first time traveling. They might think they can handle it. They might think it's, oh, it's a country, I can do whatever I want. So it'll be nice to see equal repercussions for both the renter and the shop owner that rents it out to these individuals. And more CCTV stuff, this time in the Philippines. CCTV captures a robbery holdup around 4:46 a.m. on Sunday, September 14th, outside a bar along Timog Avenue, Barangay South Triangle, Quezon City. In a hot pursuit operation, one of the suspects was arrested by Quezon City Police Department operatives in Imas, Cavite on September 15th. Whoa, I'm glad nothing more serious happened. Always good to see CCTV being used to its full potential, although most of the time we get grainy images, right? And next up, prop pipes were used to disguise a 179 million peso ghost flood control project in La Union with short pipes fixed to the river wall to mimic long pipes burrowed deep into the ground for flood mitigation. Come on, man. That is so cruel. Imagine taking all that money and just pretending that you have all this stuff in place for flood mitigation while the locals suffer. And yeah, I hope whoever's in charge, in my opinion, all this stuff, just follow the money, bro. Whoever you gave all these billions to, whatever, see where the money went and hold those people accountable. Surely there's got to be some kind of process, no? But what do I know? I'm just a foreigner. Staying in the Philippines, a CHED chairperson Shirley has identified English communication as the country's weakest skill in the Philippines, underscoring the need to strengthen competency among students, professionals, and government workers. So I guess they can say you can read English, but the competency isn't to the level they want it to be. One of the weakest skills for that, I don't know what CHED is. But in some positive news in the Philippines, tour guides from across the country gathered for the first Philippines Tour Guides Summit organized by the Department of Tourism held at Philly Hotel New Star Cebu on September 17th with the theme, quote, "Love our islands, love our stories." The summit serves as a national platform for collaboration, knowledge sharing, and dialogue among tour guides. industry stakeholders and policymakers. I'm happy to see this. I think it's really cool to see some tour guides. I'm always been like really happy to see usually the locals, they wear a shirt that says tour guide or whatever staff, and they show you around. Most of the time teenagers, somebody very, very energetic. So I've never had any bad experiences, but I think it'd be kind of wise and beneficial to everybody if they can kind of like organize this a little bit more. Sometime when you attend some of these like activities or not really resorts, but when you go on these boat tours, a lot of times it can be a little disorganized, so hopefully something positive comes out of the summit, and it continues to happen every year annually. And more positive news, the Philippines continues to be among the fastest growing economies in the annual Global Innovation Index, GII, jumping 3 spots from 50th out of 139 member states, reflecting the country's efforts to strengthen knowledge-based sectors. According to the GII report by the World Intellectual Property Organization, the Philippines was among the 9 middle-income economies within the top 70 that have climbed the fastest since 2013. Good to see in the past decade, 12 years, that the Philippines has jumped 3 spots. Awesome. Now here's a story involving a senior scamming an official rushing to save her from sending money, but they failed. The story began when police officers noticed unusual money transfers with more than 1 million baht already withdrawn from an 83-year-old grandmother account. When they arrived at her house, they were told to leave. Despite trying to warn her not to transfer any more money, she ignored them. They thought that they were basically fake police officers. With the grandmother refusing their help, officers were unable to intervene further. However, they were able to freeze around 2.5 million baht of the total 5 million baht. Authorities are now investigating the case and working to return the remaining money to the grandmother. It's so sad to know, like, this is the type of stuff that really annoys me. They should have been more specific about the type of scam, whether they use AI, voice generator, to make it like mimic her granddaughter, grandson, her whatever, right? I'm not really sure what the details are, but it's sad to know that even with police intervention, they were still unable to convince her not to send money. And here's the other thing. Not a lot of time, but we hear stories of like this where people, even yesterday, pretend to be like fake officials wearing fake badges and fake uniforms, right? So who is she to believe? In her mind, she's doing the right thing, right? So it's sad to see, but it's good to share these stories in case, who knows, maybe one of you guys are in a situation like this and you're like not really sure. Maybe you think twice, hopefully, right? So yeah, let me know what do you think of that. And if you've ever been scammed or tempted, I'm sure I'm gonna bring out a lot of different stories with this one. Maybe I can't really think of, the most obvious one whenever I get text messages saying, oh, there's been an unauthorized withdrawal from your account. I'm like, get out of here, man. Nobody trying to take money from me, right? Anyway, so I look at it, but usually I don't have a phone number. So obviously whatever it is, it's fake, because my phone number, the last landline I had or cell phone I had was like, I don't know, 8 years ago. So I know it's not legit. Yeah, share your scam stories or potential almost scam stories. I'd love to hear them. Next up, let's go to the Philippines. Hundreds of monkeys escaped a shelter in Lamburi, causing chaos in homes. And did I say Philippines? I meant Thailand. Or did I say Thailand? I forget. Anyway, monkeys on the loose, bro. The incident exposed a growing human-wildlife conflict in urban Thailand. I remember, like, during COVID, right? Basically, the zoos were shut down and the monkeys didn't know where to get food because they relied so much on tourists and visitors to provide them with food, and they were like roaming around all the streets, right? Because those monkeys can be vicious. And more animal news, but this time our feel-good moment of the day. This is a Coast Guard walking dog. Ali celebrated her 7th birthday on Monday, September 15th. Stationed at MRT station, she was treated to a cake and heartfelt birthday song from her handler, Petty Officer 2nd Class Harold Malanar. Good to see a handler doing what they should be doing, treating the animal with love. Hopefully, this kind of good news, I don't know if it's going to change somebody's behavior towards animals, but the happier, the better. And now it's time for a segment, today. Slim Jim said, love your atheism, leaving his plane starts to shake. At the end, the graphic, yeah, remind me of my old army days in Vietnam. No atheist in a foxhole or behind a tree. It's amazing what a little pressure will do. Yeah, at the end of yesterday's video, I had that little clip of people's atheism. If you saw it, you saw it. Oh, Slim Jim makes it again. Number 2 here, top comment. Not surprised Philippines never made top 10. Street food, old oil, dirty servers' hands, standing in dirty water underfoot. The list is endless. And my favorite comes from BlueStacks. A Swiss national gets caught smuggling 40 million worth of shabu through Naia, and suddenly the system springs to life. X-ray manual inspections, press releases, and a full parade of enforcement agencies. But where's that energy when it's local officials laundering public funds through ghost flood control projects, or cops kidnapping food delivery riders for 9,000 pesos? The same week, 19 Manila police officers are dismissed for extortion, and illegal gaming hubs are found operating inside gated subdivisions. The real story isn't Swiss women. It's a selective outrage. Foreigners get the spotlight, locals get the blind eye, and the confiscated contraband quietly disappears into the system. Meanwhile, the DOH proposes denying free hospitalization to traffic violators, as if punishing the poor will fix institutional decay. In the Philippines, enforcement is reactive, corruption is reclusive, and the headlines are just distractions from the machinery that keeps turning. The moral: if you want accountability, don't look at who got caught, look at who keeps getting away. Now, I want to say one thing. BlueStacks has been summarizing the videos for the past week or so. He does a great job, so if you guys ever look into the comment section, take a look at his comments, because he does an excellent job summarizing the video that I make. I'm not as good of a speaker or writer as he is, so I always enjoyed reading them. Leave your thoughts down below regarding any of the stories I covered today. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.